What's up, guys? Gabriel Beck here. And if you clicked on this video, then that tells me that you're serious about changing what's going on in your life right now. Whatever that may be, you're not happy with it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be clicking on this video. So let's get into it. There are demonic, parasitic entities. The battle that we face with the principalities and the spirits that the Bible talks about, that's real. We can trust it. Now I'm going to say how it works in real life. A lot of us experience moments of doubt, moments of inharmony with who we actually are, or like pestering thoughts of anxiety will come up out of nowhere when maybe you were fine all along, and then all of a sudden, bam, it changes, and then now you're acting this way. I had an extreme example where a friend of mine, he did some hallucinogens, and it triggered like a schizophrenic lapse in him. But it doesn't always have to be so extreme. But that's an extreme example. How he was fine one day, and then bam, it hit him like a ton of bricks. And he didn't know that was going to happen. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been doing it with him. I wouldn't have offered it with him, right? We wouldn't have been doing that. He wouldn't have been doing that. And I'm sure that if we knew the consequences of certain thought patterns when we first entered them, we wouldn't enter them. Just like doing a drug, or like, everyone who's done crystal meth says that it feels amazing. But if you know that it's highly addictive once you try it, why would you do it? How it can grab someone's soul. It can take who they were and change them. Or a traumatizing experience, even better yet, right? Okay? Let's say one day you're walking along fine as a kid, or maybe even as an adult. Let's say as an adult, you're walking along fine, no serious trauma, and then bam, you see a crazy accident. We're not even going to say it, just something crazy. It's going to change you. Or if something crazy happens to you, you're walking home alone in the dark, feeling good, you're fine, and bam, someone walks up and they're mugging you, robbing you, beating on you. You're going to walk down the street at night the same way? Maybe after a while, and maybe even right away for some people. Some people can rationalize and get over it. Most of us are going to freak out because of that reference experience. This happens in small ways that you don't realize, and then eventually you are this guy. You're derping. Okay, we go into our self-induced trance. These demonic parasitic entities, their goal is to take away my bandwidth, is to take away your bandwidth, is to distract you from being fully present and conscious in the moment. Because in Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil, it'll say, the devil gets you through hypnotic rhythm. Hypnotic rhythm is like a whirlpool. In the beginning, you can go into it and go out of it, go into it, go out of it. But after a while, you get so deep into that whirlpool that you can't swim out of it. And then slowly you're getting sucked into the middle, and then you're consumed. Well, that's what Satan does with our habits, with our free will. Not even with our just habits. Let's take it microcosms at a time here. With our free will, he will slowly, you know what you're doing. Like right now, I know what I'm doing. Fully present, aware in the moment. Actually, I was kind of flowing for a second, but I'm choosing this activity. So I'm fully aware. I'm choosing this. This is Gabriel Beck, is what I'm saying. What the enemy, Satan, is going to do to me, to you, to everyone, except for Jesus, because Jesus just went. That's why he hates us, because he knows that we're saved, but we got to go through the test. So what Satan's going to do to you and me He's going to slowly distract us and drift us. This little pebble, this little pebble, this little thought, this little thought, this little thing will happen. This little, you won't notice it. And all of a sudden, you're sucked into the whirlpool of hypnotic rhythm. Read Outwitting the Devil. But first read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John if you haven't already. Please. Okay? Because don't be that guy. Hungry eyes. After a while, this is what Owen Cook talks about. Owen Cook and Julian Blanc. Julian himself on the platforms. They talk about hungry eyes. How Owen Cook will put it is, okay, it's like you're sitting at a table where everyone's, VIP guest. And, they're used to this. They've been there, done that, been there before. Been at the buffet, they're used to it. You are not used to it. You're like freaking out. You're like, whoa. Maybe you're like on a ramen diet for the past couple months. Like it's really like hitting. They can see your eyes, your hungry eyes. They can see it. They can see it. It's like when you look, and this is no harm. This is, again, Owen Cook made this example and it really made sense. When you look at the homeless person on the street, their eyes, the hungry eyes, they want. And there's nothing wrong with that. They need in that point, okay? But you can see the energy. You're not going to go hang out with them all day because you know that you're going to feel inclined to give them something. The eyes are hungry, you know what I mean? So the person at the table is making the other people feel like that they have to give them something, and it just puts them off. So take this analogy, this parable, if you will, and apply it to your everyday life. What's happening right now? You're walking up to people. I'm walking up to people. And we got those hungry eyes because we've had all those little tiny situations before the trauma. This is what the demonic parasitic entities want to do with our free will. They want to deteriorate it to the point to where you don't have any self-confidence in yourself, or you're not even sure what you want to do or say anymore, that when you walk up to people, you want something from them. You want surety, you want to feel good, confidence, you want things. You want things from people. And if you don't want things from people, then you're lying to yourself, because we all have a selfish intent of some sort. That's how humans work, okay? And it's not a bad thing either. It's good to be in touch with that. But if you're not in touch with that and you're wanting for it, and it's not a bad thing because you want it, you can't get it, but you're walking up and people can sense that it's going to hurt you. In sales, I dealt with this for a long time. I was the hungry sales shark. They could feel that I was going for blood. They could hear it in the pitch that I was doing. And it's because I wanted it so bad. I had the hungry eyes. But like Owen Cook was saying, if you want to get fed, you can't look hungry. It's the weirdest thing. You almost have to it's fake it till you make it in a little bit. But it's not at the same time, because once you understand energetically what's happening, you can almost bring yourself to that state of okay, what the true God is. And that brings us into what I'm talking about next. Why we have hungry eyes is because we want that false God. We want the goodness in that moment. We want to hold on to it forever, but you can't, because this life is like a mist. It's fleeting by. The only thing that is forever is the Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, heaven, the Holy Spirit, all of that. That is what you're trying to fill with the moment. That goes real deep, right? But it's true, because the true God is focusing on what is right, what is good. You feel good when you do what's right and give to that homeless person, but you shouldn't do it because they coerced you into it, and you shouldn't do it because you're going to put it on social media or something stupid. right? You do it because it's right, because you care about your fellow person. That true God also means being present in the moment, because that's something that is going to fly right over my head too, and all of our heads, because we hear that every day. You got to be present in the moment, bro. But listen, wake up for a second. You paying attention? The only thing that takes us away from the present moment and from the true God, from appreciating the gift that God is giving us, the opportunity to show our faith through works, is, thank you, see, I almost lost it, is you're either looking with anxiety into the future about what you can do to make yourself feel better. But the weird thing with that is, okay, first, so you're either doing that or you're looking back in the past and basically calling yourself a loser for all the mistakes that you made. You're like, oh, darn, I should have done this. I should have done that. It's just absolutely no sense. I mean, you can learn from it, but that's what you're doing. You're either sulking or you're having anxiety. Okay. And the funny thing about that is that when you have most of it for us guys, for me, I can speak as a man, is we're worrying about the future because we're like, if we solve this problem, then I'll be able to stop hating the moment. But if you can't enjoy the moment now, if you can't be focused and present now, when you get it, you're not going to be in the moment. You're going to be searching for the next moment, the bigger, better, and beyond. And there's always more. That's the ego. You don't need that much. What you need is to figure out how to be in this moment now, whatever it is, even if it sucks, and figure out, yes, how to escape from it, but you got to be in it. That's why those daily check ins are important, because our brain is going to take over. Scratch that. Our brain is being messed with by the demonic parasitic entities, and they're hacking into our system, trying to make us think that the thoughts and images they're putting into our brain, the distractions, are our thoughts and images. But the key is, you are not your thoughts or the images that pop up in your brain. You'll find this when you meditate, that things will randomly pop in your brain that make no sense. You find this in your dreams. Are you your dreams? No, you're not, okay? It's just your imagination or something beyond the veil that we can't see that is trying to influence us, because there is something else happening here. And so they're trying to make you grab onto something that you shouldn't be, because the flesh wants it, because your flesh isn't going to be here forever. But you have more than just that. And we know we have more than just that because we can feel it. You can feel it when something bad goes wrong, like what Germany did in World War II was absolutely wrong. I can prove it, because you want to defend Adolf Hitler? Let me know in the comments. I'll see all the dislikes. I mean, that brings me into this. You got to see, are you even happy with what your day looks like? What does your day look like Monday to Sunday? Make an audit. This is something that I was learning in the Blueprint Reloaded course by Owen Cook. Costs money, like $300-400, but there's different tiers to it. But everyone should buy it here. Can't even talk. Blueprint Reloaded, Owen Cook. There's different tiers to it, $300, $400, and $500. Go get it. Get the $500 one. It's definitely worth it. You get like 5 or 6 more days of seminars, like hours, 40, 50, 60 hours of just this, what I'm doing, but way more in depth, okay? Because a lot of this comes from Owen Cook's course, just saying. Thank you, Owen. But what does your day look like Monday to Sunday? You got to audit that, okay? Be like extreme with it. So like, what am I doing? Okay, I wake up. Then what do? I go to work, okay? Then what do you do after work? And then like, okay, you eat, okay? Then what do you do after you eat? Okay, then when do you go to bed? Exactly. Monday, Tuesday, like get crazy with it, right? And see what's going where's going astray. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like, why am I being this detailed? But you have to be this detailed. I mean, shoot, if you run a business and you're gonna audit it, aren't you gonna be detailed? If you want to run your life and be happy with it and be successful, don't you want to be detailed? So, and also, I mean, you can ask, how are you going to rearrange it? And if you can't necessarily rearrange it right now, extend your concentration, like wherever you are. Let's say you're working at McDonald's, or like I work in a call center. I like what I do for other reasons, but let's say you hate working in the call center. A lot of us work in call centers that suck, and you're working some life insurance bull crap. Or yeah, I know it all. I've been there, done that with that. So trust me, I know. Or you work in construction and it sucks. Extend your concentration. See how long you can super focus. Don't just derp out on the job. Be a freaking loser like everyone else. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your children. Don't do that to your God. Your God made you for a higher purpose. You were not owned by your own self. You were bought at a high price. So you got things to do. And if no one's told you yet, I'm telling you, you got things to do. Man, woman, extend your concentration, even if it's stupid. Because when you're out of that job, man, are you going to be able to concentrate on things that you actually care about? Because you're going to be used to focusing on stuff that sucks. I would say, like, read books to extend your concentration too. But honestly, if you're in that reality where you can't even change your job that you like yet, you know, you can do audiobooks or videos for now, and then work on concentration at your job, and then afterwards you can put those hours into the books, because otherwise you're going to feel very dull and boring. Going to work, reading, go to work, reading. Like, you can have fun too, but audit your life. Everything's an opportunity cost. Every single thing that you do, me doing this video right now, is an opportunity cost with the time that you could have spent doing something else. Everything. Even if you make 50 grand that day, well, you could have spent time with your family. Well, if you did spend time with your family, well, you could have made 50 grand that day. It depends which one is needed. That's an extreme example when you make it. Now, everything being an opportunity cost, this can get very pessimistic very fast. So you gotta give yourself a little leeway when it comes to judging yourself into the ground. But start being, well, it depends. If you're too relaxed, then you need to whip yourself into shape. But if you're already stressing out and you're getting out of that daily presence moment and you're worried about the future, then this mindset may mess you up if you go too much in it. But just remind yourself that everything that you're doing has an opportunity cost. So you got to constantly, daily check in with yourself. How happy am I going to be with what I'm doing right now in a week or two? Am I building towards success? Can I do something else right now? If the answer is no, the answer is no. Sometimes it'll be no. That's when you hit the super focus mode. You go, screw it. Can't do nothing else. Time to work on my people skills. Time to see how much good energy I can give. Time to see how much I can focus. How much do I got in my tank? But if you do have an opportunity, realize you ain't got time to waste, man. You've already had your time wasted by these jobs taking 8-10 hours of your day every single day. They don't give a crap about you. They'll replace you tomorrow. No one's coming to save you except for Jesus Christ. But if you want to change your physical life, You have to understand that the time and actions that you invest physically have an ROI. So where are you over invested and doubling down on where you shouldn't be? Who are you hanging out with 3 or 4 hours a week that maybe you should just cut out or hit up every once in a while, like every week or two? Just like space it out. You got to isolate yourself sometimes for you to go in that cocoon. Or if you're doubling down on being too alone, that's a thing too that I've experienced. Maybe you need to double down on going out and meeting new people and hanging out and letting loose. Are you doubling down on being too serious and it's holding you back in your expression? Maybe you need to loosen up, take things less seriously. Maybe you're not taking things seriously enough. And you need to double down and start reading. It just depends. Ask yourself, where am I over investing? Where do I care too much? Do I care too much about this stupid TV show that I'm not going to care about in a year or two from now? I get that Rick Grimes is cool, but do you have to watch him for 4 hours a night? I'm talking to old me here, but I know there's a lot of you that have TV shows. You're like, it's so fire, bro. I got to watch that next episode. Bro, you can watch it tomorrow. You already watched an episode. When does it turn into, okay, this is good for me and I'm taking a break? And when does it turn into, I'm not chasing my dreams anymore? I don't have that fire in my gut. You'll know because you'll feel it when you get up off that couch after watching the TV show and you feel crappy. You watch too long. When you get up off that couch and you want to do something, or you feel refreshed, you want to go to bed and do something the next day, and not repeat that process. So, I mean, it's all very nuanced. But the gray area is where you're going to get lost in because of the fact that there's no guide. When you go to work, when you go to school, and I almost think that this is why I think they set up school like this. When you go to school, it's so structured you don't have to think about it. By the time we get out and we get a job, it's so structured we don't have to think about it. Even if you do end up making money, now you don't know how to even like function without being told what to do. And a lot of people end up losing their money. So you have to develop this mind frame before it happens randomly so that you don't just lose it, so that you don't understand it. When you understand it, then it can't be taken away from you. Just like understanding the nature, of God and what we're supposed to do. You can feel that you're supposed to follow the moral absolutes and be a good person, but does that mean that I'm going to get good things all the time? No. And does that mean that that God planned that for me? No. Because the fallen nature of this world is described, obviously, in the Bible, that it is chaotic, sporadic. But everything good comes from God. And you can feel when you're going off that basis, and you can feel the injustice happening to you. So you can feel when you do the injustice to other people. So hold that same energy with yourself as well. Just like you want to treat other people the best way, you want to show up on time, you want to, look the best in front of people, you want to come off the best and get the best results. Why not act that way for yourself? View yourself as still you, but like you are viewing you, but like for real, and you're kind of like separated because you're looking at it from a third perspective, going, okay, this is what this guy Gabriel does every day. Now, how would I improve what this guy Gabriel does every single day? It's weird, but when you do it like that, you're like, oh, I see all the chinks in Gabe's armor. He could be doing this. He could be doing that. He's doing that with his face. He's moving there. He's doing this. All sorts of things. And he could be investing his time here. Why is he spending his money there? When you start looking at yourself separately like that, not judgmental, right? You don't want to analysis paralysis, but everything is an opportunity cost. Then you start realizing, oh, I need to start shaping up. And then, like Conor McGregor says, if he says that you're not going to do it, don't do it. If you say that you're going to do it, do it. Stack up those small wins, because if you don't, and you keep breaking that word with yourself, then you're going to slowly stack up those small loses. And it's going to be a loser effect rather than the winner effect, which every single one of y'all should look up the winner effect on YouTube. Just read a summary video about it, or watch a summary video about it. That's all you need. I'd rather you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in Romans. All right, guys. Peace. Drop me a comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Out of here.